There's so many new people here today, oh my god. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I know we have a lot of new subscribers right now. I checked right before I got on here to film, and I think we're sitting right at like 368, which is like so many more subscribers than we had 24 hours ago. So I just want to say thank you guys so much, whether you're a new subscriber or an old subscriber. I just want to say thank you for being here and for, you know, supporting this channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you. With that being said, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. Today, because the last video was about a Disney Channel original movie and everyone seemed to really enjoy that, we're going to do another Disney Channel original movie. This one is another Halloween Disney Channel original movie, and it's something that I stumbled across while I was doing my research for Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. And then in the Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire comments section, I got a couple different requests to do this movie next, so I figured I'd take it as a sign, and here we are. The movie, of course, that I'm talking about is Under Wraps. It is a 1997 Disney Channel original movie. IMDb claims that it's the first ever official Disney Channel original movie. I don't know if that's true, but according to IMDb, this one was the original, so... This movie I could not find on Disney Plus. They don't have it, but I did find the entire movie on YouTube for free, so... I was trying to give you watch time, Disney Plus, but now I'm here on YouTube. And this is definitely another bizarre one, so I feel like the only way I can really get into it is just getting into it, so here we go. Let's watch a movie. I'm in my pajamas, I have my tea. It's gonna be great. It's movie night, guys. Yay!
Now, Ben, Mom and I have talked about it, and you're gonna sleep in your own room tonight again, okay?
Ooh, there's a monster in my closet. Shut up, you cow.
Whoa, whoa, hey, we're 30 seconds into this movie. Calm down.
Maybe he could sleep in our room just one more night.
No!
No! Sorry, I've got this whole movie to cover. This is gonna be a long night.
Now, Ben, I've told you a million times, monsters aren't real.
What is it with the running theme of, like, parents bullying their kids when they say that they have monsters in their closet? Like, that's a pretty normal thing. We've talked about this in past videos, where it's like, I've never known anybody to bully their kid when they try to say that there's monsters in their closet. How does she not see that there's a monster right there?
Okay. I believe you.
So this guy just, like, gaslights his kid into not believing his own eyes, and then this happens.
Oh, shit.
Okay. The first time I watched this movie, I legitimately paused the movie here and pulled up the IMDb page, which I had already looked at, just to reconfirm with my own eyes. Children's movie. This is a children's movie. Okay. Let's continue. Now at this point we find out that, just like in Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, this is kind of like a psych out first scene. This is actually like a movie within a movie that the main characters are watching inside of the movie. It's like movieception. It's like movie 4D chess. That's not what it's like.
Don't be such a wuss. It's just a movie. Thank you so much for bringing me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be throwing up in the lobby.
I mean, to be fair, I'm only left with the conclusion that this guy got his eye poked out with a big knife. Like, I would also be a little bit nauseous.
It's a horror movie. What do you think happens in a horror movie? Horrible things.
Non-negotiable logic.
I like nice, happy movies, like The Sound of Music.
Okay, yeah, I get that, you know, happy movie. Not everybody likes the slasher stuff.
It's got singing, dancing, Nazis.
I'm not very comfortable with the way he said that. Let's maybe...
Well, the Nazis don't sing and dance, which would be really cool, but it's still a great movie.
I'm going to sit here and pray that he meant that it's a good thing to see them fighting Nazis and killing Nazis in the movie. Jesus, I hope that's what he meant.
And Liesl, that's the oldest daughter. What a babe. Even when she's wearing those play clothes made out of curtains. Gilbert!
You're starting to sound really weird.
Let's move on from this whole part. Let's just keep going. So they walk home and they're walking past the neighbor's house. You know how there's always like a scary neighbor in these movies? Well, this is their neighbor, who this one kid is apparently the newspaper delivery boy for, but he has never gotten paid. So his friend is like, I'm sorry, what?
Ow.
Oh, God. I say with 3 lights flashing right in my eyes. Run! So this neighbor just sicks his dog on these 2 kids, and they go running. So Marshall gets home, and he's all moody because he doesn't like his mom's boyfriend. And side note, the mom looks familiar to me, and then I realized she's the same lady that plays the mom in Phantom of the Megaplex, which I have also covered on this channel. You can click the link up there, go see that video if you're interested. How does he sleep in that room? It would stress me out.
He's dead.
Who?
Mr. Kubat.
So this is their other friend. I'm blanking on her name just like I'm blanking on everybody's name right now.
Hey, he was old, organs fail, these things happen.
She's very nonchalant about this whole thing.
Your house is full of weird stuff. My mom collects antique dolls. It's perfectly normal.
Ugh. I don't like dolls.
She takes her dolls to the movies. So, there's nothing wrong with that. She buys them popcorn.
Once! She did that once!
Also, they keep referencing that as like a plot point, but it's not actually an important plot point. Like, we never actually see the mom or the dolls, thank God, so I don't know why it's in there.
Mrs. Anderson?
Call me Esmeralda.
She's role-playing. Go with it. Breaking into a dead guy's house. And on a school night!
So anyway, they pick this kid up from his weird mom, and they all go to the old man's house because they're daring each other to go in, I guess.
Then, how about I'm just the panicky guy who goes and gets help?
Gilbert, shut up. Okay, excellent.
Shut up, Gilbert. Yes, you're correct. I'm sorry. I will shut up now.
Cart!
Yeah, duck 6 inches out of the way when there's nothing to obscure you from view. That'll hide you from a passing car. So then Gilbert almost dies, but then he doesn't, and he sees a mummy. And he takes it in stride, really. But in the process of not dying, he realized that he dropped his glasses, so they literally go into the house to try to retrieve the glasses. I wonder what's gonna happen.
So, have you ever seen a dead person? Oh yeah, I've got them lying around my basement in huge stacks.
Yeah. Is it just me, or was that so salty? I hate myself. So Gilbert's having a panic attack by himself with the world's tiniest flashlight.
Yes, sir, this was a really stupid idea.
Mood.
What?
I love that he falls down and his friends are just like, wait, what? But brace yourselves, guys, because here comes the mummy. The mummy's a lot, really. And he chases them through the house and then realizes that he has to pee, because I guess that's a problem of being a mummy. Even in the afterlife, you have to pee sometimes.
That mummy had to go.
Why? Aw, he found his glasses. He's a nice mummy. So the kids realize that the mummy's not gonna hurt them. Side note, I read that the mummy is played by the same guy that plays the mom's boyfriend slash kind of stepdad. There's an analogy in there for sure, but they don't really like tie it back together. You'll see, but it's an interesting thing. I watched the whole movie without realizing that.
He smells horrible.
You don't have to say it right to his face. He can hear you. Also, Mr. Mummy, you should really ask before you get in somebody's personal bubble. Just saying.
He talks. Hey, that's more than my dad says in a month.
Oh no. Poor Gilbert. So the kids find out that they're gonna keep the mummy around because they don't want him to be experimented on. But they leave him in the house overnight and they decide they're gonna come back later to figure out what they're gonna do.
So, if we're not telling our parents, maybe we should tell the cops, or animal control, or the Psychic Friends Network, or somebody.
The poor extras in this scene. This kid's just standing here by himself. They're all having to walk super slow so they don't run into the main cast. Which is not the extras' fault, by the way. I've done so much extra work. Trust me, it's... you do what you can.
Hey, Amy. I'm busy, Todd.
Well, I know, but I was just...
Todd.
No means no, Todd.
He's got a big crush on me, but it's definitely not going to happen.
That's another thing that I'm pretty sure never comes back. So they realize they need to find out more about mummies before they can figure out what they want to do. And so they go to this guy's shop to get answers. Kind of the same vibe as the way the kids in Mr. Boogedy went to Mr. Witherspoon's to get answers about their haunted house. Hey, I've also covered the Mr. Boogedy movies. Here's the first one if you haven't seen that.
Hey, did you see the new Warhead movie?
It was great.
Tell me about it. Much more imaginative kill factor.
Yeah, this is the way you talk to kids about movies.
What do you guys want to know about mummies?
We're doing a report for school.
Really? And they say the public school system sucks.
Okay, one, I think everybody learns about mummies at some point in school. I know I did. Two, is that your bar for the education system in America? Like math and science and all that stuff that'll help you with life. You don't need that. You need to learn about monsters. Why did I go into like my Bugs Bunny voice when I said that?
Such an interesting monster, too.
You'd be amazed what varicose veins say about a person. I had my mom in here for about a week.
You know those things that all kids watching this movie can relate to. So this guy tells them about the central curse of this movie, because, you know, there always is one. The mummy has to be back in his coffin by midnight on Halloween. Who would have figured that one out? Or he dies. I mean, he's already dead, but he would cease to be a mummy? I don't... He wouldn't keep walking around. He'd be gone.
Want to see me pick my scab?
Okay. Okay.
This isn't a blanket, it's a rag. I carry it around in case I have to wipe up something.
Oh, yeah, right. And I'm not wearing a bra. I'm wearing a bulletproof vest.
Random segue into talking about your bra, but okay.
The one they loaded all Mr. Kubat's stuff into.
I don't know if they actually, like, told him what his lines were beforehand, or if they just kind of pumped him with caffeine and sugar and just went, here, kids, say this, and then he did in one take, and they were just like, yep, we'll use that. Gives off that energy. So, they realize that all the stuff in the house, including the mummy, has been taken. Then they run into the girl's mom, who is selling the house, and try to bullshit their way out of explaining why they care, or are there in the first place.
What are you kids really up to?
We're doing a report for school.
On Mr. Kubat.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll for deception on that one. Not even close. These poor people are just trying to buy a house. These weird kids are just like, hey mom, where's the mummy? It's supposed to be in the basement. Meanwhile, the mummy is not in the basement. He's at the local burger joint getting a snack, apparently.
Okay, would you like fries for that?
And I don't understand this, but apparently the lady at the window just is unfazed by the fact that this mummy is just like screaming into the void outside the building into the microphone. Which, like, I get it. It's probably a very confusing thing to see it drive through if you've been dead for several millennia, but still, don't make this employee's day any harder than it already is. And then he just jacks an orange soda and is on his way.
Ooh, Mommy, look at that ugly man.
Oh no.
It's not polite to stare. Now, I told you, some people are just born special.
Well, this guy's really special.
Oh no. So, after all of that happens, the mummy ends up at the hospital, and for some reason no one's fazed by the fact that this mummy is just strolling around the hospital. Oh yeah, I gotta read this chart way up high. It's not like there's gonna be a mummy or anything around here. He also gets his bandage caught in the doors and then doesn't, like, get completely unraveled, which also doesn't make a lot of sense, but you know. And the next sequence of events just makes me very anxious for a number of reasons.
Fill out these forms, please.
Doctor, I got our burn victim.
Oh no.
Clear!
I hated that. Also, putting the everything else aside, How do you think it was when the writers of the movie went in and pitched lighting a mummy's nipples on fire? I feel like that's kind of a questionable thing to pitch, but okay.
You know, the scary thing is, I understood every bit of that.
How, though? So the kids catch back up to the mummy. They sneak him back into the main kid's house. I really should know their names by this point. This is my second watch through of this movie.
Marshall?
Marshall. His name is Marshall. I'm good at making YouTube commentary.
What was that noise? It sounded like you were coming through the ceiling.
So you didn't notice the big-ass mummy when he was right in your line of vision, but you noticed the sound of them walking upstairs? Okay.
Clogging. Right, Aim?
Wow, hey, she's good.
Somehow, you made that one.
Gotcha. Wow. This one's good. Is he new?
So even though that mummy is very clearly moving, the mom's just like, huh, okay. Have fun with your clogging, kids. Let's see, what else happens? They spray the mummy with perfume. Mummy tries to eat a fish. Normal mummy stuff. And they name the mummy Harold.
Harold? I don't know, he looks like my Uncle Harold.
Jeez, your aunt must be ready to open a vein.
God, that's brutal. Jeez. He also really likes this song. That's his jam. And then the neighbor that supposedly died, plot twist, he's not dead. And he's very upset that his mummy is missing.
I mean, what's the point, right?
Man, look how happy my mom is. Dating that nice guy. I hate that. And then the mummy remembers that he saw somebody giving a patient flowers at the hospital, so he just, like, pulls out a plant out of the pot and gives it to the kid, like, here, this will make you feel better. He's such a wholesome mummy boy. But then the mummy sneaks out of the house, chases the dog for some reason, and then sees an advertisement for the local museum on a bus and just, like, runs after the bus to get to the museum.
I just worry about someone seeing me in those pajamas. I don't wear pajamas. I sleep in the nude.
Again, very strange conversation segue. So the kids just managed to, like, break into the museum. I don't know how they did that. I don't think they, like, have a key. And then they realize that the mummy is very concerned with this other female mummy.
The high priest swore a vow of celibacy. What's celibacy?
Kids movie.
No chicks.
Oh. I can never do that.
You'll get used to it.
Oh, pour some water on that burn.
Harold watched TV.
Pretty Woman, Ghost, Sleepless in Seattle, every sappy movie he could get his hands on.
Yes, the mummy watched Sleepless in Seattle, so you know he's going through a rough time, heartbreak-wise.
He's just a mummy. It's not like he's a real friend, okay?
How dare you, Marshall? What are you, made of stone?
Drop it!
I like how they gave the two boys, like, an actual, like, something to do to participate in the scene, and then my pop vinyl fell over. Oh, God. But then the girl, they're just like, just stand awkwardly in the corner and kind of swat at the mummy. That'll work.
He must belong in that big mummy coffin.
The big mummy coffin. I love this kid, man. I just realized that this kid kind of reminds me of the little kid from Meet the Robinsons. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Alright, so they have a lead. They're trying to get the coffin back so that the mummy doesn't die or disintegrate or what have you. And they decide that the mummy needs clothes to blend in, so let's see what clothes they put him in so that he can keep a low profile. Groovy. I am low-key, high-key jealous of those shoes, though. I want some of those. Not only does this mummy have sick style, but he's also wearing a mask, so icon. Please wear a mask. So they get to this, like, I don't know, warehouse place, I guess, and they need to get over the fence, so the mummy just kind of yeets Marshall over.
Stupid, stupid.
Okay, don't hit. There's no need to hit.
I'm okay.
He's okay. So anyway, the Marshall and the mummy Marshall and the mummy find out while they're in there that the neighbor is alive and that they're trying to, I think they're trying to sell the mummy. I think that's what's happening. And then they go back to tell the other two.
Where are they?
I found him. Poor mummy, he needs a chiropractor. So now it's Halloween. They've got to get the mummy back into the sarcophagus by midnight. Let's see how they do. So they go to this Halloween party, and the mummy kind of gets more attention than I feel like he would. I feel like pretty much everybody would just assume that this is a costume.
Next time, Marshall gets to stay outside with the monster.
He has a name, it's Harold. So they find the guy who owns the shop, which is who they were looking for, and they're like, hey, we need your car to transport a mummy. And then Harold the mummy gets chased into the party by some of the, like, bad guy goons.
Hello.
So he meets this girl. She's dressed like Cleopatra. Here's what I don't understand. There's, like, dialogue where she says, like, hey, where'd you run off to?
Have you gotten taller? Where have you been, anyway?
But then 2 seconds later, she starts talking to him like she has no idea who he is.
I don't even know your name.
So, like, does she think he's someone else, or does she think that this is a completely new person to her? I'm a little bit totally confused. Also, this situation turns into harassment, like, really quickly.
Who are you? His son?
No, ma'am. He's celibate.
Well, I don't think so.
Very, very uncomfortable. Gilbert thinks he found the mummy, but it's really just their principal dressed up like a mummy. You know, those awkward situations. And then before they can completely ruin the principal's marriage...
Who is this woman, and why is she hanging all over you?
Phil?
Of course.
Well, if that's your husband, then who is this?
They get their actual mummy and get out of there. But not before they unwrap his face, and uh-oh. Poor guy. He doesn't look that bad. Stop being mean to the mummy. So then the bad guys catch up to them. The kids and the shop owner get away, but the mummy does not. He gets caught.
We gotta get him back.
All right, I'll help. I have to help. Anything happens to you, I lose my best customer.
Capitalism for the win! Yay! So then this sick action sequence commences as 2 of the kids and the shop owner run in. Gilbert stays behind because Marshall has learned a very valuable lesson about not trying to peer pressure your friends. Dude, chill.
We got time up. You got the intestines?
Huh?
That ought to keep him quiet.
If you're confused at this current moment, so am I. I even found a review that some parent wrote about this movie where they were like, it was okay, and then they pulled out fake intestines, and I was like, ah, my kids are not supposed to be seeing that. In fact, the first time I watched this movie, I had my cat with me, and even she was like, what the hell? I know, it's weird, right? I don't know what to tell you, man. So they tie up these 2 bad guys with fake intestines and head on into the building. So while these 2 are just making such a mess, so much noise.
Maybe nobody heard us.
Marshall's trying to free Harold, and he finds him and his sarcophagus, and they go to leave.
Why'd you do it all anyway? Fake your death.
Yeah, why did you do that? I'm very unclear about that.
Unfortunately, the IRS started to investigate me for tax evasion.
Alright, how do we want to wrap up our groundbreaking kids movie? Let's give kids a crash course on tax evasion and the IRS. Cool. So Marshall's like, hey, can we please put him back in his coffin so that he doesn't die? And the guy's like, no, I'm the big bad guy. So they have another, like, fight/chase scene.
You know, this thing's a lot faster than it looks.
Gilbert coming in with the save. Nice.
Can you hear us?
Quit yelling, I'm fine.
The kid who spends the entire movie freaking out crashes a car into a building. When his friends are like, oh, are you okay? He's like, quit yelling, I'm fine. They get away. I think Harold killed that guy. And then they wake up the mummy girlfriend. Goals, am I right? And then they get Harold into his coffin before he dies. I don't know if this is a good ending or a bad ending, because, like, he didn't die, but he also, is he just gonna be in his coffin forever? Like, kind of sad. Poor Harold. I kind of like Harold. It's so sad.
Why are you throwing all your stuff away?
I guess I've just outgrown it all.
Gets rid of all of his monster stuff. He's apparently had enough of that now. He accepts his mom's boyfriend.
This Ted guy, do you really love him?
Yeah, I do.
Then you should marry him.
And that is very sweet. I do kind of like that. Although I do wish that he had like one scene with Ted where it tied back together the whole parallel between, you know, he learned to be nicer to Ted through Harold somehow. I see what they were doing, but it's still a little bit clunky, but you know.
You gotta tell Ted to lighten up. Stop being so nice.
Yeah, Jesus, he can't be so nice all the time. That asshole. And so, Amy and Marshall have a thing for each other now. Gilbert is the third wheel.
Hey, wait up!
And that's the end of the movie.
You've seen it 3 times.
And you know, I learn more about the character every time.
What's to learn? He's a monster. He eats people.
That is such a cultural stereotype.
Okay. So that's the end of the movie. What have we learned? Couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. This was made, I guess, early on in the whole world of DCOMs. Honestly, all things considered, I mean, it's very strange. It's a very odd movie. In a lot of ways, I definitely see why Disney Plus does not have it in their service, but also, I think they also have a lot of worse things on their streaming service, so... But if you're interested in watching this movie for yourself, I'm gonna link it in the description down below. It is on YouTube for free right now, for now, until Disney realizes and then takes it down and probably blocks my video worldwide, and then I'll cry and I'll be really sad. But for the time being, you can watch this movie for free on YouTube. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'd like to thank everybody who suggested it. I'd like to thank everybody once again just for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Anything and everything you do to support this channel means so much to me. I always say that, but it's so true. Like, you guys have just made my day. Every day, but specifically today, like, I'm so very, very grateful to see the channel growing. Yeah. Today was one of those days that anxiety-wise, mentally, it wasn't super great, but getting to read all of your comments and see all of your support really helped me get through. So I genuinely want to say thank you. Like, means the world to me. I'm so glad I started this channel. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around because I post nonsense all the time. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye!